Okay, recording right now. Criminal advocacy. Okay. Hello, Mr. Constantine. Thank you for coming in. I'm Mr. Petershek. I'm a trainee with the firm, and I understand that you had some dealings with the police last night. Is that correct?
Hi, Mr. Petashek. Yeah, so it's all a bit troubling, and I'm a little bit nervous with what happened. But I was arrested, and the police arrested me, and he said that I'm trying to remember, but it was like suspicion of theft. So
Okay.
I'm still a little nervous. I'm not really sure what's going to happen or
Okay.
stuff like that. Just
Okay. Well, first off, let me get your contact details. Your name, Mr. Constantine. What's your full name?
sure. It's uh, well, my surname is Constantine,
Mm-hmm.
and my first name is Mike.
Okay, Mike. Do you have an address that I can reach you at?
I'll have to get it
You can make
get
it up.
that to
Make
you
it up.
later on. 264 Main Street.
264 Main Street. Okay. London, right? Or
Yeah,
is
that's
it
right.
in
London.
Burnley, London? Okay. And how about your phone number and email address?
Sure, it's 274
274
123
123.
4567.
Okay. And an email address if you have
Sure,
one.
it's Constantine at gmail.com.
Okay. And do you have a preferred method of communication? If anything develops, do you want me to call you or email you, or do you require it to be by post?
No, I think email is best for me.
Okay, preferred by email. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. So,
hmm
more about this arrest at the police station. You were arrested. You're not merely detained, correct?
No, that's right. I was arrested, and that's what they said, and they interviewed me too.
Okay, so there was a full police station interview. Okay,
hmm
on suspicion of theft.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
Okay. So what were the events leading up to this accusation of suspicion of theft? What kind of what brought you to that?
Well, what ended up happening is I ended up buying, we have a patient, I work at a care home,
Okay.
and we have a patient there that I tend to take care of. And he doesn't really have very much family. And, from time to time, he may ask me to go get him some stuff. And generally, what happened here was that he asked for a particular, cologne. And, I went and bought him the cologne. Now, what ends up happening is when you're a patient at this care facility, you have sort of like an account, right? And from that account, you could take money out for toiletries, toothbrush,
Oh,
deodorant, stuff like that. So, in this instance, what ended up happening was, I bought the cologne, I gave it to Mr. Bernard, and I wanted to get reimbursed. So I went to the admin, and I said, I need to get reimbursed $75, which was what the cologne cost.
how much
And
was it?
75 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, 75 pounds. That's how much the cologne cost. And, I didn't have the receipt or anything like that. And they gave me the $75. And
Uh,
I thought that was it.
okay.
But I guess later on, the manager, thought that, the cologne wasn't worth that much. And that's kind of what led us here. He thought that, I essentially made up the number or asked for more money than what it was worth.
Okay. How much are they alleging is the real cost? It's only 75 pounds anyway. I mean, what is it, like a
Yeah.
$5 cologne or something?
No, what they're saying, it costs $28. I mean, 28 pounds. I'm sorry.
28.
Yeah, 28
Okay.
pounds. That's what they're
So
saying.
basically you're accused of having stolen the balance,
Yeah, I
which
guess that's what they're
is
saying, but
which is
that's not what
what?
happened.
47 pounds is the
That,
difference. All right.
yeah, I guess that's what it adds up to.
Remarkably little. Okay. Um, but of course, in your case, it's only 47 pounds. Um, and there was no dishonesty on your part. You were merely seeking reimbursement for work done and an expense incurred, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I mean, I just didn't have the receipt.
Okay. That's an important feature. There's just no receipt. It's a rather small amount. And they can confirm that like there's no, this isn't, they're not accusing you of, this is a theft act section 1 charge essentially. It's not a fraud. You're not being charged with fraud in addition to this.
No, I mean, that's not what the
So
police
it's
haven't
not
told
a
me anything
fraudulent
about
billing.
fraud.
There's actual cologne.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Bernard has the cologne. It's there.
Okay. All right. So I see no dishonesty on your part. This is relevant for defending the charge. There's been no real appropriation of property because it is strictly speaking a reimbursement, correct?
Yeah, I mean, this happens. I mean, this
Okay.
has happened before in terms of like when you buy something for one of the um
This
patients
this
there, you
commonly
get reimbursed.
occurs, right?
Yeah,
This is a part of your job, ostensibly.
yeah, yeah. If you're the caretaker and you want to do that, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you explain this to the police or to your supervisor or what?
Well, the supervisor just said that, or it was our manager, right? I guess that's our supervisor. They said that this at the supermarket you could buy that cologne for $28. That's what the manager's saying. So I saw it for $28. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's the same cologne that he saw for $20. Maybe it's not. Maybe
Maybe he saw the knockoff somewhere else.
yeah.
Prices do vary. That's a difference in price. It's not nominal difference in price, but it's still not exactly all right. Anyway, keep going on. So, and the police arrested you anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Did the police have you received a charging document?
I don't think so. I haven't. I'll
Okay.
have to check my papers, but
And you said you were interviewed by the police as well, and they were they were not impressed by anything you had to say here.
well, I don't think so. I just said no comment to everything that they asked. I don't trust the police.
Okay.
And they said, I didn't get a solicitor either.
Oh, that's a problem. You
It's,
didn't. They didn't inform you that you could have a solicitor there. They didn't
well,
tell you any. You didn't ask for one, or you just didn't know. Didn't know at all. What?
well, the thing is, I wanted to get out of there as fast as possible, and they told me, listen, if you get a solicitor, it's just going to delay things. So I just didn't get one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could that. All right. So, not mentioning, failing to mention the mitigating evidence about the cologne could work against you, but but this failure to adhere to recommend you seek counsel in the police interview is also works against. Usually the police would go before charging you with something. They would make some investigation into a possible defense like this, and follow up on your claims that the being mere reimbursement. Anyway, so that those are procedural issues. Failing to mention this, they could be the court could make an inference against your your defense in this about it merely being a reimbursement, because you failed to mention it in the police interview. This could have cut this off very quickly following summaries, but they never advised you of your right to seek it to have an attorney with you in the police interview. And as you said, you were just nervous and distrustful of the police and wanted to get out faster. So that does assist you. So do you have any other details about this incident that you to add?
Well, this is the other thing. I got my last paycheck. I was short about 39 pounds, right? And you know, I don't know if them maybe not having paid me the 39 pounds, could that possibly give me some defense?
Um, it could. I don't know how good that defense would be because you're kind of just like seeking self-help
Mhm.
uh by way of a patient at the facility for a paycheck problem with the employer. But that shortage could be construed as a defense. I don't know how good it would be. I probably wouldn't raise it because it's there's three parties involved, and
Mhm.
it's a third party dispute. Um, but it probably would it might be taken into consideration. I don't know if I'd want to bring it up though, frankly.
Okay.
It doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so you have been charged with this because of the low value of this theft. I believe that it is a an either or offense. So it can be it can be tried. It's probably going to be tried in the magistrate's court rather than a full crown court. Um, before a magistrate, no jury. Um, now you haven't seen the magistrate yet. There's been no hearings, right?
That's right. And so, I want to ask, you're saying that it might be in magistrate court or, yeah,
It belongs in magistrate court. It does not
yeah.
belong in the crown court because of
And
the
who
low
makes,
value of it.
and whose choice is that? Or is that just automatically or
It is yours. We can elect it.
mine? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but before the first hearing, I do have to advise you. You do receive credit for for entering guilty pleas at certain stages. There's a sliding scale about how much a guilty plea it gives you credit to reduce the sentence. Pleading at the first instance is a 33% reduction, whereas pleading on the day of trial is only a 10% reduction. I need to tell you that it's a very important thing for you to consider. But by the sounds of it, you are not inclined to plead guilty at this point, simply because there isn't really a case to make it out. Correct?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I wanted to see, you know, how I should plead. I mean, listen, I didn't do this,
Right. Well, if you
right?
didn't do it,
But
we can't really plead. It's wrong to plead guilty to something
okay.
you didn't do. And I can't act for you if you say that you did not do it. I cannot. We can't. I can't proceed to take instruction from you to mislead the court as to your guilt, just to
Okay.
dispose of this process. Um, given the nature of the allegations, I don't think a custodial sentence is likely in any event,
Okay.
because of the small amount. Although it is against a vulnerable individual, which does weigh against that. It is very low amount. There's no violence, and even with the pay dispute that you have, how much was that for again? I did not write that down. How much is
Yeah.
the
It
pay
was
dispute for?
39 pounds.
Okay, the 39-pound pay dispute could be a mitigating factor in any sentence, and that would lower
Mhm.
the value down of this alleged theft even more. Again, I don't want to bring that up. I don't like the prospect of that as a defense to the crime itself, but it could be a mitigating factor in the sentencing process. Were you to decide that you are guilty and to plead guilty, or if you do go to the magistrate and that the magistrate does find you guilty. Um, but a custodial sentence is extremely unlikely because of the nature of this crime. Do you have any prior arrest or convictions?
No.
You
No.
don't even have that. Not ever,
No.
not ever, not in the last 2 years, 5 years, not ever.
No. No.
Okay. Well, that also lends itself to even less like almost zero possibility of a custodial sentence. A
Yeah.
community order may be a very modest community order may be involved. It could be community service, a fine, restitution to the defendant, to the victim of 47 pounds. That is what we decide the difference is.
Well,
Would be in order, but
this is the thing.
if you are found guilty at the magistrate's court. But again, I find this very unlikely. I think that we do have a strong defense to present,
Well,
in spite of not mentioning this to the police. You know, that this could.
Yeah. Well, one thing, I didn't do this, and one thing I was thinking of, I haven't told anyone this, but I do think the manager, when they saw the cologne at the supermarket, I want to say maybe it went on sale, and that's why he saw a reduced price. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
That's what happened, right?
Okay. Maybe it's on sale. Maybe that's why the price is such a discrepancy in the price. We can find out about that very quickly. If that is if that is true, that definitely should have been mentioned to the police if that is possible. But since you didn't, we could also we'll see if we can find evidence of this. If there is, we'll take it, and we may be able to get the charges dropped altogether before even the first hearing or with the magistrate's court, just by merely presenting it to the Crown Prosecution Service in essentially a well-worded defense statement, because at that point there is there's no case for theft at all. Not only was there no dishonesty and no intent to deprive, but there was no appropriation at all if it is on sale. So I will follow up on that. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I mean, that's it. Just, I guess one thing I would say is that, the person who I take care for, Mr. Bernard, he's very elderly. He's 89. The reason why I do these small errands for him is because he doesn't really have any family, and no one comes and visits him, and I'm really the only person that's able to help him out with these kinds of things. So I don't know if that would be a factor at all, but I do think that's important, for them to know.
Okay. All right. So that could also be a good mitigating factor in sentencing if it comes to that. I don't think that it will. So for future reference, I believe. Do you know what what is your salary, your pay? This is important for legal funding, public funding through the Legal Services Commission. Are you below the £12,000 annual income level?
No, I'm above it.
Okay. And since you do live in London, we'll get some pay stubs out, and we'll need to you'll be in some type of a means testing for this funding for legal aid purposes, and we'll follow up on that.
Okay.
It sounds like this is a lower wage position. You qualify for some level of legal aid. So that will be our next steps forward. Firstly, I will follow up on the evidence of this perfume cologne being on sale for you. Secondly, I will collect documents for legal aid to ascertain the public funding aspects of this. And thirdly, we will I think the next most logical step forward will be to draft and complete a defense statement to perhaps compel the Crown Prosecution Service to reconsider the charges altogether, based on the fact that this is a reimbursement at most a minor cost discrepancy. And so that'll be our step forward. All right. And I
Okay.
will be in contact with you about that shortly. Hopefully, maybe we can get it logged off before a first hearing or shortly thereafter. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.